Welcome back to this episode of The House Always Wins with your hosts, Jeff and Samantha Hauser, where we explore mindset, mentorship, and tactics to make moves to set your house up to always win. And the topic that we want to cover today is, where does this idea, this mentality of the house always win come from, and how do we set up your house to always win? And what this is rooted in, what this channel comes from, or the essence, it comes from casinos. Yes, those casinos that take your money, that you can win money from. But here's what that really means. Think about a casino. A casino is a business, and their job is to make money. And that means that they will never lose money.
Never.
And that means the way they're set up, if you think about casino games, if you think about every single bet that's going on the table, it is mathematically impossible for casinos to lose money. Every single game has at minimum of a 51% chance of the casino winning that bet. So that means they get to have the mentality, they can take any bet. They can have any amount of money on the table. They might even be down sometimes, right? They might be on a losing streak and people taking them for money, but they know at the end of the day, mathematically, they will always win. At the end of the day, their numbers are gonna be up and they're going to get the most money possible so they can continue their business. So what we wanna take away from that is, how do we build that same mentality? Imagine if we can make bets, if we can make life decisions, if we can take actions out of our comfort zone, knowing that we're always going to win.
Yep.
It changes the game. It allows us to do things and grow in areas and experience things that we never thought possible if we know at the end of the day, our house will always win. And so what we want to talk about today is, how do we tie that to mindset, mentorship, and making moves? And what we just went through is some of the mindset, or how the mindset needs to be to allow us to always win. But what we want to think about is, we might not be in a place yet today where that mindset is a reality. We have to grow that muscle. We have to get to a place where our mindset thinks, you know what, Jeff and Sam? I can always win. I can set my house up to always win because it allows us to show up and act differently. And the first thing that we can do, the most important thing that we can do with our mindset, is understand what our inputs are. And when I say inputs, it's what things are you reading? What are you listening to? Do you have the news on 24/7? Who is pouring into you? What is pouring into you? What is making it into your mind that creates that reality around you? Because the truth of the story is, if you look around and you don't like certain things that are happening, you don't like what your life looks like around you or the people that you have around you, those are your outputs. And the only way to change those outputs is to change your inputs. So what are you reading? What are you listening to? Who are you taking advice from? And how are you going to use that to shift your mentality and your mindset to the same one that a casino has, that I'm always gonna win, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna make those moves. So with that, I'm gonna pass it on over, and how are we gonna infuse our mentorship into this, baby?
Yeah, so first of all, I want you guys to know that Jeff and I weren't always good with this. I mean, I can just tell you guys, 10 years ago, when I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I started as a physician, and then I wanted to build an online business. I was looking left and right. I was comparing. I was in a negative state.
Yeah.
And for your house to always win, you got to change that to positive, which is a lot easier said than done. It takes a lot of stamina, a lot of consistency, a lot of work. But something that really changed my life is the mentorship part, right? The power of proximity. Write that down. Power of proximity. Who you surround yourself with. The average of the 5 people you surround yourself with are the people, is the person you're going to actually become. And so I started seeking out, well, I can't really afford a mentor right now. So what do? I found people to follow, to emulate, to listen to read their books of, to get into the rooms of, and take notes in the back corner. That is real. I remember once finding my first mentor, and I would literally call him and ask him questions about 10 to 15 times a day. And he said, man, you are nutso, but I know the more questions you ask, the more you will achieve. And so Right now, you might be getting that mindset right. Just know a big part of that equation is definitely the mentoring. So whether you're gonna keep watching YouTubes like this and subscribe and save and see episodes every single week from the people you really wanna become, write this quote down. Do what someone does to have what they have, right? Ooh. And so
good.
That's really important, to consistently be in the room with them and just hear their voice being poured into you over and over and over again. And if you can afford to pay a mentor, a coach, or be in a mastermind or a group, that's also incredible. Conferences, retreats, even just coaching modules online. Again, find someone who has what you want to have and just do what they do and let their voice just soak in, because your input equals your output, like Jeff said earlier. And the third aspect of having the house always wins mentality is making moves, right? And I think sometimes we get the mindset, we get the mentorship, and it's like, this is kind of like manifestation. You go, I'm manifesting. Why is nothing happening? Why does your house always win? Because we take that mindset and the mentorship and we put it into tangible, actionable tasks to make moves.
So true.
So here's what I want you to do. Where do you want to be by the end of this year? Where are you at right now in this year? And where do you want to be by the end? Maybe there's 6 months left. Maybe there's 12 months left. Maybe there's 2 months left. And so figure out your end goal and then look at the rest of the timeline and say, what do I have to do month after month, week after week to get to that month goal, to get to that year goal? What do I have to do daily to get to that week goal that gets to my month goal that gets to my end of year goal? You've gotta literally journal it out, guys. You gotta have your roadmap, because just because you have the mindset and the mentorship, if you don't know where you're going and you don't have the steps in front of you laid out, how can you ever get there? You can't. And the last thing I would say is make sure you have an accountability partner, whether that's your mentor, whether that's a friend that has the same mindset as you, but who is holding you accountable with those moves that you are about to make. If you have any questions, comment below. We're here to help you. Reach out on Instagram or Facebook. We want to be able to give back to you guys what we have instilled in ourselves, because your house deserves to win too. Like, subscribe, and save, and make sure you share this channel, because we are ready to rock your mentality and help everyone else rock theirs too.
We'll see you on the next one, and remember, your house can always win too.